Hi, I'm Matt Ruland, Senior Product Manager on Lithic's Fraud and Authorization team, and we've shipped a lot this quarter. I'm really excited to share a roundup of new features with you for the first time in this format. Payments are getting faster, more programmable, and more connected. The place where all of this comes together is in the authorization. We'll be focusing on a handful of exciting releases that support authorization intelligence, Lithic's framework for programmable payment decisioning. Across the payment stack, we're incorporating context, permissions, and continuous risk signals into every step of the transaction lifecycle. Let's get started on some of those new releases. Introducing Fraud Essentials. Lithic's Fraud Essentials gives every program a baseline layer of fraud protection. No heavy lift to get started. You can set rules that trigger conditionally to block authorizations or cap velocity across card, account, MCC, country, and more. At Lithic, we believe that testing and analytics is core to a good fraud strategy. Shadow mode means that you can test a rule's real-world impact before it ever touches a transaction. Watch the analytics, build confidence, and then flip it live when you're ready. With Fraud Essentials, tokenization and 3DS just work. You get coverage of all the wallet's requirements and best practices out of the box, and a fraud model built on data from millions of authentications. Nothing extra for your team. Let's try out some of that rule creation, performance, and testing capability. If I'm running a business expense management program, I may want to have a rule that declines transactions above $500 per day for employees, except for the most senior leaders. Let's configure that rule across our program and test it in shadow mode, so we know how it will perform before pushing it live. Now, it'll take some time for transactions to run and understand how that rule performs. So let's look at an already active rule and understand how it's impacting approvals, declines, and challenges. You can also test an alternate draft of a rule in shadow mode and see how the performance compares against the live version of that same rule. These Fraud Essentials are available out of the box to every program on Lithic. For programs that need more sophisticated controls, we're introducing Fraud Command, our premium package for businesses that want the deepest level of control over fraud and their decline rates. Access to these new features help you create more contextualized settings for secure spend on your program. That includes tokenization rules. The defaults from networks and mobile wallet providers are a strong baseline of protection, but they don't know the nuances of your program. Strengthen defenses when you apply your own logic to tokenization and prevent unrecoverable fraud and false positives. Authorization challenges. When a transaction looks off, you can have a cardholder verify their identity via SMS without permanently losing the transaction. Backtesting. Take any draft rule, run it against months of your real historical data, and see exactly what it would have caught. Draft a rule, run the backtest, see the results, promote it live. It's important to remember that backtesting doesn't replace shadow mode, but instead it accelerates the path to confident deployment. Custom code rules. For teams that want to go beyond the basic rule builder, write fully custom auth logic tailored to your risk strategy, in TypeScript, directly in the Lithic dashboard. This is not just for developers either. Our new dashboard feature empowers anyone to write custom rules in natural language. Describe the rule you want, and Lithic's AI writes the supporting TypeScript code. Contextual signals. Your rules can now factor in contextual card and account behavior. For example, limiting spend within 3 standard deviations of the card's average spend in a given period, not just static attributes. And for what's next, our team of fraud experts are curating a pre-configured rule library for you to seamlessly apply rules to your program directly from the Lithic dashboard. And as we look further into Q2 and the year ahead, we'll continue to build out our fraud prevention suite, including allowing you to leverage embedded device data, advanced machine learning risk scoring, and more dynamic features across the entire transaction lifecycle.